In this session, I'll show you how to take a backup of the router config to the TFTP server and restore the same config from the TFTP server to another router. We will be going through a step-by-step approach to copy a configuration from a router to a TFTP server and restore the configuration back to another router. And we'll be simulating the same by using packet tracer software. First thing first, we need a router and the server. Let me drag a router and a server. And let me connect one cable between the server and the router. I'll rename the server as TFTP server. Let's build a simple point-to-point topology where the router and server will be in the same network. I'll be using the IPs as 192.168.1.1/24 and 192.168.1.10/24 for the server. Next, let me configure the same IP on the router and the server. Since we are in the setup mode, I'll be saying no. Now we are in the user mode. I'll type enable and get into the enable mode. From there I will type configure terminal to get into config mode. I'll configure the IP on the interface, that is 192.168.1.1 subnet S2555.0, and I'll enable the interface. You can see the interface is up. If you want to see it using the interface command, you can see it this way. This is the interface which will be connecting to the TFTP server. As you can see, the IP address is configured, status is up, protocol is up, and other interfaces which, since we are not using, they are administratively down. Let me go ahead and configure the IP of the TFTP server as well. I go to desktop, IP 192.168.1.10. Subnet mask is /24 and the gateway will be our router. Okay, so the IPs are configured. Before we go ahead and execute the backup process, make sure you have the IP connectivity with the server. Okay, I'll go into the router and ping the server. Okay, we can use the ping command to verify the connectivity to FTP server. There you go, ping is successful. We can do the same from the TFTP server to connect make sure the connectivity is there from the both sides. I'm seeing 4 replies, that means the connectivity is okay. Let's go ahead and confirm if the TFTP service is enabled. Go to the services and select TFTP. Here you can see the TFTP service is on. You can enable or disable the TFTP server selecting on or off. There are other configurations available on the TFTP server, but we'll be saving our configuration from the router. Before we go ahead and copy the configuration to the TFTP server, let's do some basic configuration. Let me configure the host name for this router. Earlier the host name was a default name, that is router. Let me go ahead and rename it as networking with H. Here you go. Once you change the host name, it will appear here. Also, let me configure the interface description to TFTP server. Okay, go back and confirm if the configuration are showing up and running config. You can see the host name is showing up, The description of the interface is showing up as well. Then we will go ahead and copy the running config to the TFTP server. So the command to do this is copy. If you want to know the next command, you can type the question mark. Here you can see we are copying from the running config to the TFTP. Copy to current system configuration, TFTP. Okay, and then press enter. So it will ask you to put the address or name of the remote host, that is 192.168.1.10. Then it will ask you to put a destination file name, or you can use the default name recommended by the router. Let's go ahead and use this name, networking with h-confg. Press enter, and here you can see the file is copied onto the TFTP server. We can verify the same by going into the TFTP server, and here you can see this file was not available earlier, but now this file is available. So our next step, the first step is completed. We successfully copied the running config of our router to the TFTP server. So the next step will be to load this configuration on to the new router. For that, I need a new router. Okay, and I'll shift this cable from the first router to the second router, and I will connect it to the same port of this router. Now, since the router is new, the ports are down. We need to enable the interface. Let's log in into the router. As you can see, it is booting up. Now it is in the setup mode. We don't want to go and configure it through the setup mode. We will configure it manually. Now we are into the user mode. As you can see, the host name is default. I will type enable and go into the privilege mode. As you can see in the running config, you will not find any configuration. The host name is default. There's no IP configured, and there's no description. Nothing is there. But to copy the configuration from the TFTP server to the router, we need to configure the IP. We must have IP connectivity to do that. Let me go ahead and configure the interface IP address. I'll be using the same IP, 192.168.1.1, and the subnet mask is 5.5.0, and unshut the interface. As you can see, the interface is up, and you can confirm it by pinging the TFTP server. It should ping. Here you go. Ping is successful. You can also visually see the ports will be green. Next, we'll follow the process of copying the configuration from TFTP server into the router. So the command to do is similar, but here we'll be using, after copy, you can see the typing question mark. You can select TFTP. From TFTP, you have to copy it into the running config. Okay, and then press enter. Again, it will ask for the same address or name of the remote host. That is the address of the TFTP server, that is 192.168.1.10, and then source file name. The source file name was networking with h-confg, and then press enter. You can see the file is copied, and as soon as it is copied, your host name is changed to networking with h. We can confirm this by checking the running config. The host name is changed, the description on the interface is changed. That shows we have successfully loaded the configuration from the TFTP server. That's it for today. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.